is for us to understand more about our own work and own creation. We have an entity we call the soul. In filtering by emotion, it gives us the physicality. Then there must be a certain point where the soul itself carries part of representation of physicality. The light is always white. The filter which you put in front of it dictates the color you absorb. In essence, the color you absorb is embedded in the light itself. Otherwise, it cannot manifest itself in physicality in what you wanted. So what is important for us to understand is that this entity, what we call the soul, must have a structure within itself. That in understanding its work, it manifests itself in the physicality of the man. The filter is the earth, is the condition of this planet. You change the filter from yellow, the light, which is the white, will show itself as yellow on the other side, depending on the filter. But it has to be inside the itself as the light, the structure of the physicality. Where this physicality itself receives information and interaction with other souls, that it says, in this environment I want to look this, but if I come to another environment with a different color filter, I manifest myself the same, but here with one arms and many legs. The filter is the environment of the manifestation and presentation, depending on the strength of the filter. So if you understand this, you understand that within the structure of the soul of the man exists the physicality of the man, intention of its representation and manifestation at the point of physicality. What does this mean? What happens if the soul has or exists in interaction simultaneously as it radiates in different directions with a different filter, where in this filter even the existence of it is can show itself as another entity? Do we exist in different dimensions according to the establishment of the strength and the filtering of the entity we represent? The answer is yes. If you understand, it's easy. If you do not understand, let us explain. In the structure of the physicality, the filter allows us to be seen for us at the strength as a man. At the same time, as part of the soul of the planet and others, we manifest ourselves collectively as entity, as the soul of the planet. And then all the stars, all the planets, all that any other entities within the galaxy represent the physicality of that galaxy. Galaxies are one of the most beautiful representation of the physicality of their existence. In the pictures we see from what we call new tools of detection of the environment of the space, we don't see galaxies having arms and legs, but we see the interaction of their fields. This is their existence with no physical dimension. This is life of the entity. This is physical and interaction is totality, where to the eye of the man we do not see the physical boundary. But if we had the strength of the galaxy's magnetic gravitational field, we shall see the arms, the legs, the beauty, how it breathes. There is no difference in the world of creation of the universe. It's understanding the proportion, understanding the condition, and understanding the strength, how an entity manifests itself. Once we understand this, then we come to a very fundamental point, and that is, within the soul of the man exists the totality of the structure of the manifestation of the entity in all dimensions of the universe. It is dependent on the filter